Today we will create doodle roses. We will be working on an open rose and a rosebud, and these are the basic techniques that I used to create my coloring pages. As you can see, here's an open rose here and a rosebud here. So let's get started. Grab a pencil, a pen, a marker, basically whatever you have handy. Our reference shape is a circle, but don't worry if you can't do a perfect circle, because in the demo I am not going to have a perfect circle, and you'll see that it looks more like a natural rose. Let's get started. I won't need to get rid of any reference lines today, so I'm going to be brave and jump right in with a marker. So, as I said, the first shape that we will need is a circle, and you don't have to worry about having a perfect circle. In fact, I'm going to make mine like really imperfect. And then we will start on the inside of our rose. So, just take your pencil or your marker and start and go about a third over to the other side. And I'm just going to put a mark there and then a third over here. You can go in a nice curve, or you can make an imperfect curve. Then I'm going to go over to this one. And then my next reference point is in the middle of the next line. And we just keep working that way. We hit about the middle of that line, and then we go to the next line about the middle, and over to this one about the middle, and the same thing. We just keep going about the middle, about the middle, about the middle, and there we have the center of our rose. The next thing we need to do is to make sure that we are about a third again on the outside circle. So I'm just going to make a little mark and another little mark, and we want about 3 petals. So I am just going to go out a little ways and then do a curved line to there. Now the next one I can overlap. I can start here and the same thing, just make a curvy line over till there. Now we want to join those 2 petals with another petal in between. So I'll do the same thing. And there we have our next layer of petals. Now you can just continue to do that as we grow our rose as big as we want it. I still have room on my page, so I'm going to do the same thing. There we go. This time I don't necessarily need 3. What I'm aiming for is to make it around to the next petal. So I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do the same thing. And rose petals often go out towards the center, like that. And then on this one, I'm going to go over to about here, and same thing. And you can just overlap as you feel comfortable, and we'll do one more over here. Now I could leave it there, or I can make it even larger. I'm going to go one more round since I have some room, and this is a demo. And once again, I'm going to go from one petal to a point on the next, and then from that petal to a point on the next, and then from this petal to a point on the next. And you can pop in your dot if you're more comfortable with that. It gives you something to aim at. And then this one, I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to have one more to join over here. And there I have created a beautiful rose that I can make as many layers as I want to fill my page, or fill the page with lots of smaller roses. Our reference shapes this time are a heart, the letter U, and an oval. All right, we're going to start with those three reference shapes. I'm going to go to the center of my page and I am going to place a heart. Now on the outer side of my heart, I'm just going to draw the letter U. Of course, it does not have to be perfect. Then our final shape that we're going to add in is an oval that needs to go not quite as far as the top of our heart, but part way down and go around. And some of those lines are going to be removed, so I'm going to grab my marker and then I will show you where those permanent lines are going to be. The first permanent line we are going to create, I'm going to indicate some of these with dots. So right there where our heart and our oval intersect on the right hand side. And then I need another dot down here off to the left of my letter U. Then I'm going to come around, I'm going to follow the original line of my heart. And then this line is going to curve to meet that point. There you go. The next line is very similar. We're going to come off to the side of this heart, kind of where it's at the top or a little bit below where the oval is. And we're going to go part way down that line that we just drew. We're going to go out a little bit more to the side and we're going to curve and meet that point. Now the left-hand side is very similar. We're just going to follow from where the oval and the heart intersect, and we're going to follow that original line. Oops, I went a little bit off, but that's okay. And then the same thing, part way on this heart, we're going to come around, and we're going to go about to the middle of this between our first line on the left-hand side and where our right-hand side intersected down here. And now we're going to add our permanent lines on our sides. So this side of my U looks pretty good. I'm just going to color him in. This side, I'm going to bring it out just a touch, not that it matters too much. And there we go. The next permanent line that I need to put in is the entire oval. I'm just going to try to do this so you can see. I am just going to, and it's okay if you end up with bumpy lines. There we go. Now we can erase all of our pencil marks from here. All right, I ended up with a little smudge up here with my marker, but that's okay. Now, the next part is very similar to what you just did in the previous tutorial. We're going to make that inner circle of this rose right here. So it's the same process. Find a point and go about a third, and then go about a third. And now you're going to want to meet in about the center of this line to that point, and you're just going to keep going around and around and around. And there is the center of our rose. Now this guy is kind of hovering right here, so we need to anchor him to the rest of the rose. And to do that, I'm just going to do 2 lines on the side. And there you have created a rosebud. We're going to finish off the bottom here, and then we'll be done. All right, so on the bottom, what we want to do is basically where we met the bottom of our U here, we're just going to do one of those little petals that is at the bottom of the roses. And then we're going to do another one right here. And one more right here. And then we were going to do our stem. Usually they have a little bit of a ball, and then we're going to do a stem. And you have created your rosebud. Every flower starts with a simple shape, and you've just seen how far that can go. If you're ready for more, there are more flowers to draw right here. Pick one and let your creativity keep growing. Thank you for watching, and remember, just keep creating.